What a time to be alive, guys. What an absolute day it has been, or even week. The government has decided that Dogecoin is the meme coin of the United States, the greatest country in the world. I'm just glad we didn't pick something worse, like fumbling the bag and choosing Sheeb, something like that. It could have gone much worse, but we chose the Cadillac of memes, and Dogecoin is officially the meme coin of the United States.
It literally makes it makes no sense, which makes perfect sense. It's fucking incredible. You know, Bitcoin completely ripping. I don't even know what it's at now. Too high. I was talking to you, Jake, before the show, and I'm like, should I be selling some Bitcoin right here? Because, bro, this feels like major toppy vibes on the timeline. Like, it rarely gets this bullish on the timeline. But, you know, bullish is usually like, okay, previous cycle, it was, Jesus, I don't know, an ape for $500,000 or, you know, some crazy stuff that didn't make sense. This obviously, you know, we believe in Bitcoin. Bitcoin does make sense. But still, the volume of bullishness on the timeline is just, it's epic proportions, man.
Yeah. I'm going to show something on the timeline here, and I'm forever scarred by what I'm about to say. But I first acquired Dogecoin in like 2018. I was a big believer in it. And I was buying it at like a quarter of a penny.
It's like
a third of a penny.
A real number, bro. Is it like 15 zeros before the number?
So I remember this day clearly. And this moment reminds me now of what happened back then. Very clearly, January 1st of 2020 or 2021, Dogecoin started pumping and it went much higher. Like back in the day, you'd buy Dogecoin and you denominate it in sats. It was like anytime Dogecoin hit like around 15 sats, the market was going to start sending. So it hit 15 sats, started pumping. I ended up selling everything I had. This even hurts to say, I had 7 million Dogecoin going into that bull run. And I sold everything at like 8 cents. And if you look at this chart, look at like, it's literally like
little dip, bro.
It was literally right before it just went mega send up to 69 cents. And I think this is kind of like where we're at today, where if like historically the crypto markets, alt season doesn't start until Dogecoin pumps. Obviously this could be a different paradigm. I don't really know if it actually is though. And so you have Dogecoin running and you have Bitcoin running, and then everything will probably settle down, and then the market continues. I mean, if you look at what happened last time, Dogecoin sent, and then that was before even the whole NFT craze happened, like literally all beforehand. And if you think about kind of like how last cycle unfolded, you had DeFi summer in 2020, and then you had what was it? It was DeFi summer happened. And then you had kind
of shot in late 2020, right?
Late 2022 or middle 2022.
Sorry, 2020. No, 2020. In 2021, we had was NFT. So like when you're looking at the chart there in 2021, Doge had that pump right at the very, very.
Yeah, that was the Doge top. Yeah.
Yeah. And so late 2020, Doge pumped. That's when did you sell? On January 1?
I sold in so you can see here, it's like February. It was like around like 8 cents or something like that. It was actually the top at the time, but it was like not the top of the entire cycle. So that's probably like a similar situation here. I mean, if you look at like where we're at, like if you think about DeFi summer that preceded, the NFT craze and everything like that, this time you had ordinals and meme coins, right? Kind of the combination. They just split. Instead of DeFi summer happened on Ethereum, this time you had ordinals on Bitcoin, and then you had meme coins on Solana. Right now, everything's converging, right? It's in the headlines again. And now it's to be determined to see kind of what happens. Do meme coins continue to just lead the market for the next year and a half? I don't know. It's possible. You could get something else pop up. And the cool part is, which is probably the more difficult part now, is there's 5 or 10 different ecosystems that potentially have all these different plays. Chris, where do you think we are in the cycle?
Man, I feel like we have like a year left, but everyone feels like we have like a year left. So that's where you have to be cautious. Some of these Trump policies that he really wants to put in place, I mean, he's talking some pretty significant change within our government, and that's pretty kind of uncertain for markets. So I think there's going to be a lot of profits pulled off when he gets into office. I mean, the markets are up huge. We kind of had like 2 bull markets. We had the bull market, which was like a mean reversion after SBF. I mean, Solana was at $8. It's at like $220 today. Doge was at 8 cents. It's at 42 cents. Some of these things have moved a massive amount, but I think the attention is going to stay on meme coins. You have apps like Photon, Moonshot, all these other apps, and they're bringing in a ton of new users. And that's kind of like where the culture is. That's the culture splash, and that's what people want. So I think meme coins continue
to run. Do you think any new narratives form, or any kind of like micro narratives end up proliferating to become one of the main narratives throughout the cycle?
What makes it like kind of obvious is that everything can be a meme coin. So like it's like a never ending assault of narratives. You have everything from Peanut the dead American hero squirrel to phrase coins. Like I mean, everything is just
or whatever. Yeah, those ones. Yeah,
every kind of segment can be kind of meme coined, and it seems like that's what people want.
Yeah,
I mean, it's totally like an alternative reality. Like I wasn't a meme coin guy. Jake, you weren't it. You were. I was not a Dogecoiner. Adam was not a meme coiner.
I swore off of them, man. I got burned so many times in 21. I was like, this is stupid, dude. This is nothing but losers. Like, yeah.
I used to hate it. It was like a distraction from a serious industry to me. It was really frustrating of what was going on. But after so many years, you kind of say, this is what the market wants, and I'm not the one that gets to dictate what the market should want. So you kind of have to fall in line.
I mean, I think at the core, meme coins, when they're done you know, we've talked about fair launches and stuff like that all over the place. And most aren't fair launches, let's be clear. Most are cabal coins and stuff like that. But the reality is that at least some of them, users and people, traders, feel like they have a shot. They feel like it's not VC funded. They feel like they can take part and maybe have winners. And I mean, we all know people who've had winners. I've had winners. Everybody's had winners. Like if you're active in the space and you don't have winners, you're not in the space properly. You're doing something very wrong. Like winners pop up almost every day. There's going to be a lot of losers in there, but you can find winners. And so I think in a lot of ways, it's almost like this is the evolution of, you know, Wall Street in a way where there's no way to be an insider in Wall Street, right? It is all, you know, Wall Street dumping on you basically. And so here with this, like I could launch a coin today. It's probably going to be a zero, but if I'm able to attract the right people, it cannot be a zero and it could be a fucking $2 billion squirrel coin. Right. So yeah, I think we've entered a new kind of paradigm of finance, really.
Lucas, what's up? Just saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that's why people shifted from those meme coins into NFTs, I believe, is because there's so much anxiety just watching green and red candles all the time. And you could actually become part of a community really, really quickly. Yeah. You know, you're all wearing like a jersey, where a meme coin's like hard to like, oh, let me put my meme coin jersey on and get mad. It's like easier to get mad at people if you have like a discernible NFT to like get mad about, but it's really hard to get mad like meme coin versus meme coin. So I think it's like, that's why NFTs are like a really good play for Twitter in theory. Like they're the best product to like get people angry at each other because people love me versus you. But I have to admit, I also wanted to say is like, I feel bad. You guys have like winners and losers in meme coins. I hardly ever did meme coins. I got lucky with, I did Dogecoin because Elon tweeted one time at like 1:30 a.m. my time. He tweeted Dogecoin, or I think he said one word, Dogecoin, and I'm like, okay, well, I got a couple extra, you know, $100 in my Robinhood account, and I literally, as fast as I could, I grabbed it, not knowing anything about it. I'm like, who cares? I'm bored. I'm just gonna throw this in here real quick, and I bought it like 0.0004, or it was something like, it was like 0.4 of a penny or something like that. I almost bought it at 0.2 of a penny. And dude, it went to, you guys already know the story of Dogecoin during that time period. In 2021, it was May. It's like 60. I think it hit an all-time high at like 70 cents, something like that. And then it just went right back down after Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Yeah, 69 cents for the memes. It's probably going to go much higher this time. The interesting dilemma or dynamic to this now is that Dogecoin has an active community on top of it. You have Doginals, which is being built out. We had a massive Doginal show yesterday. You have, right, on the meme side, you have the Department of Government Efficiency, which that's just going to get memed into oblivion. Like I've already seen that posted, at least from every major account, and everyone's really obvious or aware of it. You have NFTs, you have Dunes, which is runes on Doge. You have Doginals, the NFT. You actually have a layer 2 that just popped up, and our buddies at My Doge announced this morning Doge OS, which I've here pulled up on the live stream, introducing Doge OS, the app layer for Dogecoin. It says, we believe the way it can be more fun. So they're building games, applications on top of Doge. If you don't know who My Doge is, it's the #1 Dogecoin wallet. Elon Musk retweets Doge designer all the time, who is one of the employees at My Doge. So it looks like, you know, these guys are going to build an app store on top of Doge, and Elon's going to probably just keep retweeting it into oblivion because he already reposts them all the time. And so this will get a lot of attention and maybe actually get, you know, a development ecosystem on top of it. Who knows if that actually hinders the actual value because it becomes more of a utility than it does a meme. But I think this is just going to continue to grow. And I even saw today on the timeline, I don't know if you saw this with Billy being frustrated about the inflation. Did you see that?
It's so great, dude. People still pestering the dude a fucking decade later, you know, fix this token supply. This is bullshit. We can't pump when we're, printing 1 million new Doge a day, right? And he's like, bro, go change it. It's open source, man. There you go. You get enough miners to buy in, and go ahead. Good luck convincing the miners not to get more Doge every day. Yeah, this is pretty funny, man. He's, I can imagine, dude. I mean, I imagine it. I see it, right? Heavily involved in Bell's coin, dude. Dude, the moment price starts going down, bro, what are you doing? Where are you marketing? What are you doing? I'm like, bro, I'm here 10 hours a fucking day. What are you talking about, dude? But that's the way people are. So I can imagine he just gets it, all day long, every day.
He said, by the way, if you want to remove the inflation of Doge, the code is in this GitHub. And he said, you could change it right there, make a pull request, convince the community and the miners to use a new version. Now stop fucking bothering me about it. Oh, man, what a good time. Dude, it's just been a meme fest this morning. Coinbase finally announced the listing of Pepe, which I believe is going to be later today. Paul Gruel, who's, I believe they're like CLO. Yeah, Chief Legal Officer at Coinbase, said, we've long awaited for the frog. We'll soon be listing the frog. Coinbase is adding Pepe to our roadmap with the goal of listing it later today.
Wow.
Chris, what do you think the holdup was about Pepe? Why do you think it took until the bull run starting to list Pepe, even though it's, the hottest meme coin, hottest new meme coin of the cycle?
Yeah, I mean, it seems regulatory coming after a week from Trump when Paul Agrawal, he's like front and center for everything legal in Washington. He's Coinbase's like top lawyer. He speaks for the entire company. So I think it's the timing of it just says it was completely legal to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a little bit obviously around, bit of a cabal coin. Guys hold huge bags in the beginning, but I think, over the last, 18 months, that's probably disappeared to a large extent, as those guys have sold out. I'm sure that was part of it too, but definitely this feels like Trump victory. And these guys, I mean, this is actually really, really bullish news for me, because this tells me the legal minds at Coinbase feel comfortable with it, which is a game changer. I mean, obviously. So they're feeling comfortable with what they're getting out of Washington. So this is actually huge, like hugely bullish for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's another kind of like, starting gun, ready to go at the starting line. And pretty much everyone's lined up, ready to take on the industry. So I agree with Adam. Bigly bullish here.
Robinhood, literally within the same hour, also announced that they were listing Pepe. They were relisting Solana, XRP, and Cardano. So do you think they're like probably on the same? Do you think they're communicating with each other? Do you think they're communicating?
I think they literally, they have them all there and ready to go. And once they see, I don't know who came out first, if it was Coinbase came out first. And once they saw that, they were like, okay, they're going, we're going, right? And it was like, it's just, I mean,
yeah, it looked like
we've seen it with VCs. Like they'll wait until the one VC says yes, then the other guys are like, me too, right? It's like a fear thing. They need somebody to go first.
So Paul put this post out first. I believe he was the first one at 5:59 a.m. And then Robinhood tweeted at 6:04 a.m.
Man,
literally 5 minutes later.
The cabal is real, dude. I mean, is it all cabal controlled? No, I honestly don't think it is. They're probably, I'm sure they have spies within each other's, team. So they kind of know what's going on with each other. But, just seeing it within 10 minutes of each other, it's nuts, man.
They knew it. Coinbase yesterday also made a new move. They announced the Coinbase 50 index, which is a whole new way to track performance in the crypto economy. So they go on to say that the benchmark is representing the top 50 digital assets on one index. They go on to add a bunch of other stuff, including it. I don't know if there was any other indexes, but it does seem like Coinbase is now trying to play for keeps. They're really trying to front run all the traditional markets, right? They're trying to just basically build out a full product suite. Who do you think this is advertising to? Do you think this is the boomers who don't know anything about crypto, or the normies, and they're just going to say, hey, I'm just going to buy the Coinbase 50 index and call it a day?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, when I think the normies, I don't think normies are on Coinbase, right? I think normies are on whatever, Fidelity or TD Ameritrade or whatever. That's where their 401k is. That's where their stocks are. So yeah, I think this is actually probably geared towards, people like us, Web3 people, who are looking, you know, maybe for, I don't want to have to trade. I don't want to have to figure out if I want to buy Cardano or Polygon. I could just buy this thing and kind of have like, you know, wider exposure, let somebody manage my money. You know, I don't know though. I kind of kick myself for not moving some of my, my 401k into Coinbase when it was really down bad, but you know, lesson learned.
Speaking of normies, Coinbase today, as of this morning, as of 8 a.m., is the 13th app in the App Store. It's jumped up to number 1 of the finance apps, now to number 13. So
that is bullish.
Does that actually mean toppy vibes, or does it mean actual adoption? We go through this conversation literally every cycle. Obviously now, I think under Trump presidency, everyone is feeling more comfortable. We've talked about regulatory moves, and you know, people are feeling confident. Even it's so much that BlackRock actually announced that they're using Securitize and Wormhole to launch a build on Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, Aptos, and Avalanche. And I was reading some comments on this, and they're saying that BlackRock also was waiting for regulatory clarity because a lot of those tokens that were named were considered securities. So all in the matter of literally one morning, you have BlackRock coming out and announcing they're building on 5 different chains. You have Coinbase coming out and listing Pepe, and then you have Robinhood relisting Sol and a bunch of other coins.
Dude, was the government's fucking boot on our neck, or was it on our fucking neck? Holy shit, dude. We have literally no clarity yet. And just the idea that it's a change of administration, and these monster companies who are so risk averse are just like, here we go. Boom. I mean, Jesus, is fucking amazing.
I thought that this one was especially funny because the .eths had like one claim to fame, that BlackRock wanted to build on the strongest, most decentralized chain. And then they go and announce that they're going on Polygon, Optimism, Aptos, and just shoot that right in the head. So hilarious turn of events for me.
Big win by Wormhole there. I think, you know, calling that out is a good, well played for them. You know, they're going to be the Wall Street cross-chain mechanism, you know, good for them, man.
Yeah, you see Wormhole and Layer Zero really competing with these TradFi companies for being the fungible token bridge across all of the ecosystems, across the smart contract platforms.
Yep. Yeah.
They are doing a good job. And then the Bitcoin ETF has seen some insane inflows, over $300 billion of inflows in the last week alone. And Bitcoin is now surpassed, I believe it surpassed Saudi Aramco, this morning, to become the 7th most valuable asset in the world. It's now, looks like about 300 billion behind Google. So do you think by the end of the cycle that this gets up to number 2? NVIDIA is number 2 at $3.6 trillion. Do we see Bitcoin? So that'd be a double from here to about 160,000. Do you think Bitcoin can get up to number 2? Gold's much higher. Gold's number 1 at 17 trillion. So it would have to 10x from here.
All it would need would be one tweet. Donald Trump just tweets out, no capital gains tax on Bitcoin. It'd be at 4 trillion in an afternoon. That's all it would take, man. That's all it would take. But I mean, do I think, the train has left the station now. It just, well, I think we have, this is going to be interesting to see before Trump takes office, right? From now to then, we have this like open field of everybody just thinks possibilities right now. What could it be? Right. And we just see bullish posts from Elon about, you know, cutting government, cutting funding to NGOs, all this sort of stuff. And so people are like me are like, Jesus Christ, this is amazing. America might actually be back as like, we could reclaim the economic superpower. We just open this shit up, free market, let this shit run. And that for everything is super bullish. But until once Trump takes office, then we start getting certainty. And we know, like with products, once you release a product, the hype phase is kind of over, right? So almost I'm like, you know, just pay attention to, you know, him getting into office, because right now it's wide open. Anything's possible once he gets in. we start getting actual stuff. So it can be a lot less bullish then.
A lot less bullish. I mean, Chris has really nailed it about what was about to happen last week. He said that we were going to see a pump up until probably a week or 2 or 3 before the inauguration. Then we'll see a cool off period for a few months. And then I guess it's to be determined what happens then. Chris, is this market pumped as much as you thought it would? Has it gone higher? Or is this like exactly what you're expecting?
To see, but I thought Trump win, you see Bitcoin to 80K pretty closely, and then 100K. I mean, this was a little bit faster for me. I mean, it's been 1 week, it's at 100K, close to 100K. That's insane. I mean, that's insane. You have to think of how much sell pressure there's going to be at 100K. These people have been holding coins for 15 years, literally with a moonshot goal that Bitcoin might someday reach 100K. I think that's going to be a tough line to cross, but we'll see. I mean, the amount of money that's coming into the market, billions on ETFs across the board, is pretty insane. So we'll see where we go from here. But I think in terms of just like trading the market from here, I think a lot of money is going to come off Bitcoin and just kind of, perk up the rest of the ecosystem. I think Wall Street is just as fallible as the crypto ecosystem. And I think to give them credit for once, I think the .eths will see some FOMO into the Ethereum ETFs. That seems to be a huge laggard. And just like meme coins, you only need a simple narrative that can change in a single day, and Ethereum can be front and center of everyone's mind once again. If Ethereum goes to 5K within the next month, it'll be the most bullish thing in the market. All the FUD will be dissipated overnight. So that's kind of where I'm looking. Solana, I mean, obviously there's a lot of room to run, but it's at $220 already. You're going to take that to 500, or you're going to take it to 600, sure. But everything over there is getting kind of a little crowded in my view. Doge is interesting, kind of to Adam's point, where, actual products or real events are actually kind of bearish and definitely less bullish. So the fact that Trump actually announced the Doge officially last night kind of marks the end of an era. Like, it's really hard to generate enough hype to kind of overreach the government naming a category of, for Elon and Vivek, specifically for Dogecoin. So obviously it's hitting every news outlet. It's hard to replicate that kind of newsworthy kind of event. So we'll see where that goes. But I think a lot of the lower caps are going to start pumping super hard here going into the next couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about, the downloads of Coinbase app or Robinhood app, those are just indicators of kind of retail entering, right? And, my gut just says, as on a human level, when I talk to, young people or whatever who are looking to invest in crypto, they're not going to be buying Bitcoin, right? They're going to be looking for what can 10x, what can 20x. They're going to be gambling, and meme coins are kind of that perfect opportunity.
Chris, do you think a Dogecoin can flip? Do you think Dogecoin right now is at 61 million? You have BNB at 90 billion, Solana's at 100, and then Ethereum's at 400. Do you think there's a possibility that Dogecoin could flip Ethereum?
Oh, I don't know about Ethereum.
Bro, I see a lot of
holy shit.
I see a lot of people on the timeline talking about the real flipping is Doge flipping Ethereum.
Bro, that would be unbelievable.
I think it's Solana flipping ETH, but I mean, I don't know. That's me. But I think that we've talked about it a bunch on this show. I think proof of work is in vogue. I think it's super undervalued, and I think that Bitcoin doesn't have a number 2 or number 3 proof of work chain. Whether that's going to be Bells, whether I think that's going to be Doge, it's going to be probably one of them. I just think it reprices higher, just like Solana repriced higher against ETH.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it could get top 3. I think Doge could be 3.
Yeah, my thought is like I just look at it from like a category standpoint, just exactly like Chris says, right? So Bitcoin and Doge you have is UTXO, you have Ethereum and Solana and BNB, the proof of stake. But then categorically you have Bitcoin, which is just, I guess you just call it digital gold, right? You have Ethereum and Solana, quote unquote, world computer, and then Doge is a meme. And then, from Adam's standpoint, when people think of crypto, if anyone who doesn't know crypto, the 2 things that they know immediately are Bitcoin and Dogecoin, right? So, when do they come back to Coinbase and Robinhood and just look at all these meme coins, right? They see like Dog and Doge and Pepe and all these, and they're just like, yeah, I'll just buy Doge again because it's the only one that I'm familiar with. And then at that point, just normies don't give a fuck about market cap. It's just a meme at that point, and they just continue to pump it. If there's a Doge ETF too, like what Pensive Shepe says, maybe maybe that front runs it. Maybe the Doge ETF front runs the Solana ETF.
And people get crazy with the, that it's only whatever, 50 cents, 40 cents. People don't do math, right? They don't think about market cap. They just say like that 50 cents, it could go to $2, right? They just do that stupid stuff too. So yeah, Dogecoin is, it's amazing. And I don't think it's going to pass Ethereum, but it's possible it gets past Tether.
So here's a question then. Now with a friendlier, regulatory environment, who's the next ETF? We talked about how we thought it was going to be Dogecoin, this composite of like Dogecoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, because they've been around for a while. Obviously, Solana is a hot interest from Wall Street and from retail as well. Do you think Solana ETF can manage to jump in front of the Doge ETF, or maybe does the Doge ETF continue to propel to the top because of, the Department of Government Efficiency and Elon pretty much backing it? I mean, Elon has a wallet of Dogecoin with like $5 billion in it, right? It's got some influence there.
Why not both? I mean, why not both, right? If it really opens up, we know both are kind of on the table. Why wouldn't both happen? It seems likely that both would be in line. I think Dogecoin, maybe would be more likely from like a regulatory standpoint, but Solana's got all the VCs and, big money behind it. And we know when that happens, like they're the ones who fix Wall Street or who fix Washington, right? Who were able to convince people. So who knows, man? But my gut would say both would happen in the next year,
Chris, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think we'll get them all over the next year. Adam's right. Obviously, Solana has more people pushing for it. Solana has more net kind of public-facing people that would be able to speak up for it and made money off of it over the last year or two. Doge doesn't really have a lot of people that are outwardly facing that had huge positions. It has Elon, but is Elon lobbying for an ETF? I don't know that he is. If it was a more competitive regulatory environment, like Adam kind of was talking about, I did think that Doge has a huge advantage there. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. So I think we'll see a Solana one just because it's, just the place that it is within the industry and how many users it's attracted. And then it's kind of just been the single best story of the last year. I think that that's going to carry on. And we'll see the Solana ETF sooner than anything.
David Sachs has those big Solana bags. He's
All-in pod guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, he sold some to Chamath, so both of them hold big.
I think he sold it all. I don't think he holds any. I think he sold, last bear market.
Yeah, I think Solana is more entrenched into the financial market. You have PayPal on top of it, right? You have Moonshot, and you have a bunch of applications so it's much more embedded into the financial system. I guess we'll put it to a test. Is it the meme coin super cycle, right? Can Doge get an ETF before Solana because of the hot attention of memes where Wall Street and boomers are just like, I want that meme action. I don't care about anything else, right? Be, interesting narrative to unfold. But speaking of normies, McDonald's, this was yesterday during our show, posted a collaboration from the McDonald's account with Doodles. What it actually is, I'm unsure. Last time McDonald's entered the space, it was like almost at the exact top. So glad they're entering it kind of maybe during this like local top period, but I don't know. What do you guys think this is? Doodles, I saw, had the most trading activity in its history in terms of unique NFTs. Had 18% of the entire collection traded yesterday, which was the highest ever in its history. I think the NFT stats guy posted it.
Wow.
But what do you think this is? Do you think it's like a movie? Do we think that this is, just like an NFT inside of the Happy Meals? And is this a big deal at all?
It can't be an NFT, right? My gut goes to like a coloring book or something. They give it away in the Happy Meal, right? It's like, congrats to the Doodles team, man, for making this happen. I don't know how much money they still have, to make stuff like this happen. But good on them, man, to actually convince McDonald's to partner with you. Amazing. It's incredible. Congrats to them. I don't know what do you think? 11 of 18. So maybe it isn't like an NFT, man. But who are they targeting? They're targeting McDonald's users for NFTs, bro. I mean, oh yeah. I don't know, man. It's like a level below plushie toys, man. I don't know. But you got to give them credit, bro. They got something done. They got something done.
Yeah, so, gotta give them credit. I mean, it seems like a hugely paid partnership, though. I don't know what the benefit would be. Maybe I don't know if McDonald's still does Monopoly or something like that. I could see it on one of those boards for prize giveaways. But out of all the partnerships and out of all the BD that you can do, I don't know that this would be number one on my list personally.
Yeah, I'm unsure. I mean, it's
cool to see, but
I mean,
cool.
It gives value to the holders, right? Because they got a lot of action yesterday.
Doodles has been going very heavy on the IP branding side, right? This was kind of an issue last cycle, is that they said like the NFT was like a small piece of like the overall IP brand with movies, and this has led to the infamous Florit and GTFO post by the founder inside of the Discord, which I have to say now 3 years later, I totally understand why a founder would say that. Which was also a hilarious meme. Right. They have, I think Pharrell Williams is still on their like creative director board. So they're probably tapping into some of this like traditional media partnerships. Maybe they're working with some of these talent agencies. What'd you say?
Should this be top of mind? Should this have been like their number one priority? They were deep in the bear market and they decided that this was what the community and what the brand needed. I think that's odd. But,
McDonald's, I guess maybe they're just looking at it from an attention perspective where, from an attention perspective, we're like, hey, McDonald's is the most popular fast food item. We're just trying to get eyes on it. Maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
maybe it's to sponsor maybe it's to promo their movie that they're coming out with.
With all the memes, I don't know if McDonald's partnering with your NFT collection when it's like down like 99% is the brightest idea. Maybe give them jobs. Maybe it's a parlay for them to get hired.
Yeah, doodle holders now get put to the front of the line if you want to work the fry station at McDonald's.
Yeah, VIP job application status.
Yeah. Token gating it. So while we actually had this stream, or while we had this conversation, Elon Musk actually just weighed in on the inflation.
Oh, nice, dude! That's amazing.
He said, I think the flat inflation of Dogecoin, which means decreasing percentage inflation, is a feature, not a bug. So looks like the inflation's here to stay.
Right. So he likes inflation in the coin, but not in the economy. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because you're not, I mean, the reality, yeah. It's all right. The reality is they're not necessarily just able to fudge if we all knew that, like if the Fed said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to print, $1 trillion extra dollars per year, it almost would be like acceptable because then it's known, standardized. It's just when they just do whatever they want and you don't have this known inflation, right? Dogecoin has known inflation. It's like perfect money. It's the people's money.
It's the people's money.
The people's money. One final comment on this. I still think to this day, I said if I was going to start an L2 on Dogecoin, the mechanic would be that you have to burn Doge to get the native token of this protocol, whether it's an O2 or a protocol or whatever. And you can actually probably pull a lot of that liquidity, almost like a counterparty style thing. Yeah. Would be kind of interesting. Nifty Universe said that it went crazy when Pudgy Penguins hit Walmart. So you never know in regards to the McDonald's and Doodles collaboration. I don't know. But
like you can buy the product, you can buy the plushie from Walmart. I don't think that McDonald's is a toy store, so it's not going to be like a revenue.
No, McDonald's is like the biggest toy store on earth, bro. Like do research, the Happy Meal toys. It's the biggest like toy store on earth, bro.
In terms of like revenue producing, that's for
just in terms of like volume of toys. they give away more toys than like anybody. Yeah,
like the Happy Meal is producing revenue for McDonald's, not for like Doodles.
True.
And then, but for the Walmart partnership with Pudgies, they're producing revenue directly to Pudgy Penguins.
Yep.
Where this is like a marketing expense,
right? Rather than a revenue generating.
You're thinking that Pudgy is like approaches them and says, "Hey, look, we'll give you some money, and then we'll also like get you basically involved in Web3." So they're going to be a big marketing push to do something with like a Happy Meal or something like that. Basically, that's probably what it is. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You know, kind of going down the pipeline into some of the more interesting headlines that have seen across the Bitcoin space recently. I don't know if you guys saw this. The pups community, some people are very frustrated and upset about this. There was a 7-month migration period from the BRC20 to the runes, and the community decided to keep the unmigrated assets and put it into a DAO.
Your assets are mine now.
They were confiscated, which now is about.
How does that happen? How does that even work?
Which I think is now like $30 or $40 million at this point, which they're going to use for listing fees, I suppose. Domo came out and was kind of upset about this. It seems like, even though he is a holder, he says that, you know, for the record, I believe people should have the freedom to choose a standard that they want for their assets. However, there are better ways to achieve this than taking from your community to benefit the billionaires. So Domo coming in hot on that. I believe it's in a multi-sig, so I don't think it's enriching, you know, like Farmer Joe or these people, but some people feel left out because they weren't watching for 7 months. So I guess the question is here is, hey, you know, if you give the community sufficient time, you know, 6 months to migrate, is it on the user or the owner, you know, to maintain, you know, visibility or awareness of what's going on with the assets that they own? Or is it on the team, you know, to ensure 100% fairness across the board?
Well, we know there's no way to get 100% of people to do anything, right? And certainly not migrate assets. That's like, what percentage do they get? Like 70%?
I think it was like 70 or 80% of people.
That's actually really, really high, you know? So I would say they did a good job of migrating assets. So, you know, I guess what they did, and correct me if I'm wrong, the percentage, so they minted a certain percent, they minted the rune, right? And so those that migrated got their runes, but then there was an amount left because those weren't migrated. So those were left over. You know, the reality is the people didn't lose their assets. They still have the BRC20, right? You know, and good luck with that. But the other one, you know, on the other side, I mean, in theory, you should say, well, you should be able to migrate whenever, forever. But we know that doesn't really work. So I don't think it's the worst thing. I mean, you know, good luck. Do I think some of this money is going to flow back to founders? Probably, you know, it's hard to keep track of this sort of stuff, but I know the community was also bullish on it that, hey, look, they can now use this money to pay for exchange listings, which is a big deal and actually gives them a pretty big advantage in the space. Cause we've seen with Dog can't get the listings because you got to provide liquidity and all this sort of stuff along with possible fees. So this gives them a pretty substantial war chest to actually get that stuff done.
Yeah, I really don't, honestly, I don't really know what the right answer is here. You know, from a migration standpoint, I'm also in the same position where, hey, if you give people 6, 7, 8 months heads up, like it is two ways where, you know, a team has to make a decision at some point, and you can't sit in this you know, you can't just sit in the ether of, you know, trying to get it to 100%, but then there's some people left out. But then you try all these different means, which I know they did in terms of trying to get in contact with people, right? Did they posted on all these accounts, the community made it aware. There's only so much you could do in terms of trying to get in contact with people before you kind of have to move forward. I think that the number or the value of it, I think, is actually what catches a lot of people off guard. Like if this was like a $2 million, you know, kind of thing, I don't think people would have that much of an issue. But since Pups has grown, I think since Pups is like close to 10x from the bottom, or maybe like 7x or 8x, right? That value has grown to be a lot. But if it is actually 70 or 80%, then I don't really have an issue with it. I think what Domo was saying though is that he see that now that this is such on a big, you know, this was on like public display of what happened here, that he thinks a lot of other teams are going to start doing this as well and set a bad precedent, and then creates kind of this like, you know, this malicious kind of ecosystem of people just trying to, you know, confiscate money from each other.
Yeah, I mean, I just I don't know how you can have assets in this ecosystem, and especially if you have pups, you're like pretty deep into the ecosystem of crypto. I don't know how you're not paying attention for 6+ months. The asset itself is only like 12 months old. When did pups mint last year? Maybe like May or something like that. Feels like. I mean, how have you not been paying attention for 6 months straight? I just never really buy it. And there's always going to be people that complain that are on the fringes because they somehow missed it. But I think that they have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, take responsibility or assets. I've honestly been on the other side of this as well, of not paying attention. This is why I personally actually only try to hold maybe 10 assets at most, because you got to actively monitor this stuff check in every week or so. It's
hard. I mean, it's a long time, like not every week. 6
Can't
months.
wait for those AIs to watch my assets for me.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, I'm serious, dude. I'm completely serious. I guarantee you there are doodle holders out there who completely missed the McDonald's announcement. 100% missed that. Guaranteed. Right?
Yeah,
You
will they miss it?
It's impossible, right?
But will they miss it for like 6 months straight? I don't know.
Yeah. Because they're out. They're like gone. They've moved on with their lives. They have 20 doodles sitting there. They're never going to do anything with them again, you know? And yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's one of the things in cryptos. We all have these old bags of stuff that we've completely forgotten about.
Yeah, I don't know. I always keep my eye on them. Maybe I'm the odd one out.
Yeah, you're odd. You and Jake. Well, maybe you've been burning them. But
yeah. I've been burned way too many times in this industry.
I have. I can't even imagine hundreds or thousands of NFTs and tokens.
I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars to like rugs and stuff like this. Not paying
wallets,
attention.
I don't even know where it is. It's just like floating around. Who knows where it is? On a ledger somewhere.
Painful. Should be interesting to see. Pups, honestly, though, it's almost about to flip dog, which we'll go into here in a second. Jack, who's the founder of Magic Eden, posted this morning about an hour ago the first look at the rune swap on Magic Eden. It's a major upgrade. I don't believe there's an LP provision to this. It looks like you could just pay with Bitcoin and it gives you whatever asset on the other side. Even Jack showing Pups World Peace here and not Dog is kind of showing this momentum shift from Dog to Pups. Makes me wonder if it can trade the other way. So you have, I think over the next maybe month to 3 months, maybe the next 2 quarters, you're going to see a bunch of runes infrastructure come online with the swap on Magic Eden. You have Arch Network has a few kind of DEX protocols. I believe Bitflow on Stacks also is doing some sort of rune swap. So we might be seeing some further liquidity and maybe some less friction in the ecosystem come, which is always good for those who bought in early, right? Because that's where you see this like massive upside increase. Chris, do you think that this swap will have a big impact for the runes ecosystem?
Yeah, I think even just in kind of like narrative, it's something new. It's shiny. People can try it out. It's a 10x better experience than it was previously. It's good enough, comparably to Solana, to Ethereum, something like that. So I think this is a massive step. We all know it's super annoying to trade runes and BRCs. So this is much easier.
Hell yeah, I'm actually personally pretty excited for it. I'm gonna go over to the market real quick and we'll see how all of this stuff is looking here. So Gizmo has been going off on a heater. It's now up to $60 million market cap, $1 million in trading. The interesting thing is you now open up Magic Eden and the top 10 all have like at least $100,000 in trading volume. Yeah, it looks like the top 10 do have 100,000. So there is significant amount of volume that's coming over to runes. It looks like today alone, you have maybe $3 million in trading volume over the last 24 hours or so. Dog is just getting absolutely obliterated, and Pups is now within 50 million of flipping Dog. Wanted to see if that flipping will actually happen. To Pups will take first place there. Yeah, we'll see. Interested to see. Down to 4.2 sats for Dog. I was under the opinion. I thought Dog had it in the bag. I thought the on-chain community of Dog is going to be really tough to defeat. It looks like it's been bleeding holders, though. It was at 93,300. Now it's at 93,250. Pups has been increasing. Maybe the Solana impact is coming. But one thing I have to say here, and then I'll pass it off, is I do think if you do see dog get flipped, then it's just going to open up this game of King of the Hill, and you're just going to see a lot more flippings. Like if dog maintain the lead, it kind of ossifies itself as this like Lindy effect that's always going to be number one. Or it'll be much more difficult, but happening this early as more tooling comes on, I think you'll see probably more coins come in and take number one spot.
My gut says, and this is just kind of like bad trader, but that 93,000 holder number is really, really like, will there ever be another one with that many holder? Like, it's really impressive. The thing is, we all know we're in a FOMO space that I'm sure that number going down on dog is people pulling out money to try and, catch the next 10x, 100x, right? So they're not leaving the space kind of thing. They're in there just trading other runes. And, I think if dog gets low enough again, we'll see a kind of a cycle back into dog as well. But, people are looking for that early, gizmo move or pumps or what, pups or, people are looking for the next 100x. They don't want a 3x, which dog might do. They want 100x.
Yeah. If you're looking at this, so pups is up 10x in sats since September. So in about 2 months, it's up 10x. You look at dog, it's literally been kind of just, it's been down, but it's really kind of just been consolidating around 400 million for literally about 3 months or so. Had a little bit of a pump there, but it is putting out in some higher lows, it does look like. Chris, what's your outlook on the runes market overall?
Runes, I mean, I'm mega bullish on them. It's hard to miss with them. I think that this is a token industry, and we like to sell tokens. People like to buy them. I think you have a huge benefit on Bitcoin is that you can't really miss. Bitcoin, the asset is going to go up over time, and the assets on Bitcoin are going to continue to go up over time. So you help yourself there. With dog, I think its biggest drawback is like its biggest attribute is that it was free and fair, which means everybody got it for free. Which means when you're looking to sell something in your portfolio, you look to, oh, I made money on that, but I got this one for free. I can sell it at no cost basis. And then you have the opposite side of that, where if you're a buyer, I'm not looking to buy something where everyone else got it for free. I'm the only sucker at the party that had to pay for it. And then you have the top market cap, which means just by, reality is that it has a lower multiple than the rest of everything listed under it, right? So you have a combination of factors that, for me, it would be difficult for me to buy dog in any size, knowing that everyone else got it for free.
I mean, you just think about the Bitcoin effect, that we're so casual with dog being a $400 million meme coin, right? I mean, just think about it. It's a lot. Yeah, there are ones that rip, peanut and whatever the Solana one of the week is. Or for it to be holding steady at 400 million is like, it's incredibly impressive. I mean, for me, I'm just like, wow, this is it just has this weight behind it of like 400 million is nothing on Bitcoin, which is not the same on Solana, right? So yeah, it's Runes is a kind of different ball of wax than all these other kind of meme spaces.
And that's important too, though, Adam. I think that you're totally right. I mean, 10 billion market cap coin on Bitcoin, it's only a matter of time, right? And so you're looking, you say, none of these are anywhere near $1 billion.
Totally.
We have high confidence that they will be 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 billion. That's where people should be looking. We've been kind of banging the drum on that for months, that this ecosystem probably has the highest upside potential. If you're looking to make a lot of money, I would keep an eye on the Bitcoin ecosystem.
And one final note, Magic Internet Money has announced finally at least some details. Maven said for the 12-year anniversary of Bitcoin Wizard, the Magic Internet Money, present you the ultimate transformation of Magic Internet Money. Join us for the migration of Rune on February 18th, which is actually my birthday.
Wait.
Yeah, so we're all wizards yielding to power. So 3 more months, I think Wizard actually sold off, and then it got bought up again as the BRC20. I have to say, so I also hold Magic Internet Money and bought it recently, or maybe like a few months ago. Participating in this and trying to see what Maven's bot is doing. At first, I didn't really understand it, so that's why I wanted to buy some to kind of figure out what the hell's going on here. Because I thought like just holding off for a long time. Like my thought was you're going to have these on-chain communities that are going to form, and it's going to be really tough to come into this new ecosystem and really compete, you know, when these tokens have been trading for 6 months or a year. It'll be probably close to a year at that time if it is February 18th. But the BRC20 community of Wizard is actually pretty strong. But he's building this like, I don't know if I call it like a coil, where it's like all this like frustration, anticipation, excitement just coiled up. And the funny part is that it's BRC20, so the people who get frustrated and want to leave half the time can't figure out how to even leave because you have to do like you have to write the transfer inscription, and then you have to list
technology, bro.
And so it's like a lot of these people are like kind of stuck in it because they really can't figure out how to get out. And then meanwhile, it like continues to slowly increase over time.
What's the market cap right now of MIM?
So it's a Wizard, so it's still,
I think it's
let's see. So it's at almost 200 million. That's at $9. It's at 191 million right now. You know, in my opinion, I put this when Runes launched, I said that there was going to be $3 billion coins in the first 90 days. Obviously, I was way wrong. But the 3 coins that I thought was going to be dog, pups, and Magic Internet Money. Obviously, they haven't even migrated yet, but it seems to be going pretty well. There are some rumors that I've seen of like the February 18th date isn't the true date. That's like he's going to start the migration at some point. I believe they have the first spaces today, I believe, with a bunch of ancient Bitcoin whales is I think which is what the marketing said for it. But it should be an interesting, 3 months or so. My thought, like if I had to speculate, if they started the migration soon, my thing would be like they have like a Binance listing let up or like lined up or something like that. But tough to know. I mean, Maven's bot has a bunch of Bitcoin, and I guess the guy's loaded, so you can, and has all the connections because everyone knows what Magic Internet Money is. Maybe the play works to where the coil of 10 months of anticipation just leads to this thing just going straight to $1 billion when it's launched.
Yeah. No.
Chris, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I really like Magic Internet Money. I hold a lot. I think, in terms of like asymmetry, it has some of the highest in the whole industry. I really got involved pretty early on at the beginning of the year. The story is perfect. A lot of people didn't like the way that Mavins was handling it, and he was just doing nothing, which is kind of like what you want out of a meme coin founder. You want the team to do literally less. And then they secure the Magic Internet Money ticker. That means that they're pot committed. He paid money to secure the ticker, and he actually secured the ticker that he needed. And that was the telltale sign for me to just go as hard as you want. You can buy as much money as you want. You don't know when the migration will be, but he's committed to migrating the token to the ticker. Another good sign for me was that he was willing to move off of BRC20 because it doesn't matter where the coin is as long as Mavins is behind the coin, and it can move to whatever Bitcoin token standard would be the most popular. That was a super bullish sign for me. Yep. So I think the migration will happen when it happens, but I think it's guaranteed to happen. I think the entire industry is a colloquialism of Magic Internet Money. I think that is the category that we're in. So if you're looking for people that are bullish on Magic Internet Money, I think you're going to find a lot of people here in this industry.
Yeah, I just don't know how, if you're in the BRC20 space, like how you think BRC20s are going to survive. Like I don't see how that's possible right now. It seems like clearly Runes is one. Yeah, the volume maybe sucks or this or that. It's bad, but I don't see anybody on the timeline really tweeting about BRC20s and what's happening over there. Once in a while, I'll see something. Oh, Orti's $400 million, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't see it. It feels like Runes has won it. Yeah,
I mean, from the Emblem standpoint, right? This is why we're migrating to Runes and creating a whole plan around, launching on Runes and migrating back home to Bitcoin. Is that we etched the ticker on the first day, with the anticipation to see what happens over the next 3 to 4 months. I think Runes has the strongest application layer. That's kind of what I was looking for. kind of how I classify these fungible token standards is you have these like horizontally owned standards and these vertically owned ones where something like BRC20 was just basically commoditized by Unisat. And now it's I call it like the vertical stack, where it's basically solely operated, and, you know, the decision-making and the operations are solely by one entity. I did see that Best in Slot is also building their own BRC20 2.0, which I think is supposed to be separate from the other one or something like that. So, and then, what's the other one? There's another vertically owned one as well. I forget which one it is, but with the horizontally ones, these are like the community owned ones where the protocol gets put out and then the community basically develops on top of it. So you have this with like Runes, you have it with like Counterparty, you know, BRC20 was kind of like that for a little while, the original version of it, and right, like Stamps. And for me, Runes is just, it just shows that this is what the community wants. And Casey's been very hands off about it. I mean, he does talk shit about it, which is kind of funny. But knowing that the protocols, I think he said like 90 or 100% done, like there's not going to be too much changes to it, is also kind of within the Bitcoin ethos of keep it as simple as possible for as long as possible.
Oh, that just reminded me that our friend Jern is launching Investopedias, or Inscribe it. What's it?
Inscriptopedia.
Inscriptopedia is launching today. They're doing their, I think it's the Casey book or whatever he's doing. That's happening today. So good dude. And we're definitely supporting him on his launch today for sure.
Yeah, that one, he tried to launch it. Remember, so he's been on the show twice talking about it. He tried to launch it and it got botted and sold out immediately. And so he had to like refund people and basically pretend it never happened and then restart, right? It's always the first sign of
V1s. We're calling those the V1s, right?
The V1s. they'll be dug up by.
Those aren't the official ones. Those aren't the official ones.
They'll be dug up by a historical, archaeologist in the future.
So funny, man. Literally, it's the playbook, dude. This is like crypto. We just repeat the same shit over and over and over again. It's so awesome, dude.
I think it's like it's the first signs of being a builder is that, you know, you don't expect it to get botted, or you don't expect any of these things to happen. And then, you know, for most people in the space, if something like that happens, they just call it quits and say, fuck it, I'm over with it. And then the true builders are like, okay, now I have to go through the social side of it. I have to, you know, figure out who is affected. I have to refund them. Then it's like, okay, now I have to build a whole new plan. How do I how do I prevent that from happening? How do I regenerate interest? So if he comes back from this and it's a successful mint DAO, I would say that it's probably going to have a lot of success moving forward. Obviously, doing books and text on chain it's a tough model that hasn't been, I wouldn't say it hasn't been properly experimented with. Lots of upside, but the business model, I would say, is not really quite clear.
Very. Yep.
Getting DJ.
I gotta say, if he pulls it off, dude, it's like, I give him like it's so difficult. Like, I don't know, man. Hard. How to get people hyped about books? It's just real. I've told him this to his face. Like, it just seems he's chosen something that's very, very hard. So, but I wish him luck, man, for sure.
Man, if you could get degens in this space to read something that's longer than a shit post, like, you're doing pretty well. Yeah. So I mean, crypto is just extremely bullish right now. I do think that this is more of, maybe we'll kind of end on this topic. I do think this is more of an 18-month cycle than a 12-month cycle. I think the cool off periods will be a little bit longer. It seems like more elongated. Like, as Bitcoin transcends higher, it seems like the consolidation periods are longer. Like, this last one was 8 months. And how Bitcoin moves, it generally gets the majority of its move within like a 10-day period or a 14-day period. That could change because of the ETFs, but, you know, Bitcoin looks like it's probably in that phase, like getting towards the top point of that. Maybe you get a 30% correction and then a consolidation period for 5 months or so, and then it continues to go up again like that. I don't know, but I think that's why we play the game.
Yep.
Chris, what do you think? Do you think we get a run up like a 2017 style blow off the top, or do you think we get something more like last cycle where it was more of a run up and consolidation for pretty much the entire time?
I think this is going to blow off. I don't know when, but I mean, some of the price targets like 250. That seems. I think there's a lot of sell pressure at 100K. We know how paper-handed some people can be. I think 150K in the same year. I think people are selling that to oblivion. 200K. I don't like. How do you not exchange one single Bitcoin for $200,000? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I think that we have
into $1 million, bro. That's why. At that point, maybe the inverse FOMO kicks in. And it's like, I'm just never selling this, right?
Maybe. I mean, I just think a lot of it's going to get pulled forward. It's hard for me. I mean, this is a single year. We went from 15,000 to going to 150,000, potentially 200. I think 150. I think we can get there. I think it'll be like a blow off top type thing. But it's really difficult for me to see higher than that, to be honest with you, just because of the amount of sellers.
You know, the Thompson when the memes start coming out, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Lambo. That was like the meme. That was like a popular meme when I first joined the space, like in 2016, 17. It was like it's like the famous, it was like a graphic where it had like 1 Bitcoin and it equals like a sandwich, and then it's like next is like a shopping cart, right, full of food. Then it's like an iPhone, and then it ends up with like 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Lambo, and then it's like 1 Bitcoin equals 1 house, kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. Chris is usually right, so I'm gonna go with whatever he's saying.
I mean, you just have to think of how many people would sell a Bitcoin for 150,000. I mean, they wouldn't even buy it for 30 last year. Now they're not going to sell it for 150. It's tough for me to get that through my head. I think a lot of money is going to pour into the space, but I mean, once again, you know, law of large numbers. I think people are looking for other types of gains. So if you're an investment bank or a nation state or a country, I think you're looking at Bitcoin. I think if you're anybody else, you're looking at not Bitcoin. So I think that takes away from it as well.
Yep. Do you think altcoins come back this cycle?
Yeah, but it's like we said, it's just so hard to get the message out. You have a new meme coin every month. No one cares about your decentralized. No one cares about Aptos version 6 when you have Squirrel that saved America.
Squirrel, bro.
Just the messaging is a lot different, right?
So do you think altcoins outside of meme coins can come back, like utility or even just like whatever the new obscure flavor is?
I just think that we were way too lopsided on the high FDV. The entire industry needed that. So I think teams are going to need to be extremely careful with what they choose to launch at going forward. And I think if they're not, then they're going to pay the price. Their token's going to bleed into oblivion. Mm-hmm. So I think lessons have been learned and restructuring needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree as well. Well, it's going to be fun, my friends. We're going to try to continue to do the show. We're going to continue to do the show throughout the entire bull market. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Adam,
unless Bitcoin hits 1 million, then we might be out.
It's going to be interesting doing the show all throughout 2025 while we're like launching our whole new token campaign. We're launching Emblem across the entire ecosystem. We're launching this like AI vault product. Crypto's pumping into oblivion. We're going to get like no sleep this cycle.
Dude, I literally Shannon's tweets about the AI product. I mean, you see people are so interested in it, man. It's a whole new aspect to the products we offer that I think like I've never seen interest like this in anything we've done, and haven't actually released it yet. There is just this pent up deep interest in, AI crypto wallets, that I just, that may consume the entirety of Emblem, in the next couple of weeks. I don't know, man. Who knows? All I know is 2025 is going to be crazy, man. That's what I know.
Yeah, I got a DM this morning from some sort of blockchain, some sort of AI focused blockchain. They're like, "Can we integrate this wallet?" I was like, "I've never even heard of this blockchain before." They said that they saw Shannon's post yesterday. I was like, interesting.
Bullish, man.
Yeah, pay attention to that AI wallets, man, and AI agents. It should be an interesting narrative moving forward. I did dive into the last few days into this like AI meme coin kind of trend that's been going on. I saw Thread Guy and Frank interviewing a lot of these guys, and I was like, oh man, if they're pointing the attention this way, then I should probably figure out what it is, especially if we have this like AI wallet. Once we have this AI wallet live, I'm like try to figure out how to pair it all together. And dude, there is this like AI meme coin industry is at like 200 billion. I was like, one coin is like 50%, the Truth Terminal one, but I was like, dude, there had to be 100 of these AI meme coins that were like 10 $10 million, $20 million market cap just like sitting around. I was like,
Yep.
Space is so big. They just like these like multi-billion-dollar industries just pop up. You don't even realize.
Don't even hear about them. That's right. Yeah. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing.
Should be.
But dude, we're all gonna have AI agents. There's zero question. Like every human on Earth is gonna have a bunch of these things. We're not even gonna, like we just said, with maintaining my wallets or my tokens or whatever. It's just gonna be in the background. You're not even gonna know about it. But right now, it's so non-intuitive that there's just it's a wide open space right now, and yeah, so people are playing around, and that's part of what Emblem does. We play around in these new spaces. Amazing.
Yes, sir. I'm prepping myself for having to start drinking coffee every day again for the 2025 cycle, so we can get hyped because it's going to be a fun time. And I hope that everyone joins us along this epic journey. We host a show Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you follow the Emblem account so you can follow and stay up to date with everything that we are doing. We'll be back tomorrow with our inscription show where we dive into the ecosystems across all of the UTXO chains. And yeah, we'll be back then. Please make sure you follow everyone on stage. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Later.